It's just magic.
With Dale and Tony breaking all the rules, talking tech biz and straight up chaos. Quick fire guests, oh yeah, we slay those.
Good afternoon. My name is Dale Rodriguez, and this is Flabonga Month of the Cube. With me today, I've got my awesome co-host,
Tony Stevenson.
and we've got our average to middling guest.
You're on mute.
Jabroni.
Oh god. Hi, I'm Tom.
He was
was gonna argue this.
Yeah, the average to middling thing, and then he was
Yeah.
on mute. Yeah.
He was going to kick off. He was going to give me like the right act. He's like, actually, no.
No,
Sorry,
that
Tom.
was-
I only say average to middling because you're a guest. You can handle the banter. This is your third time being on the show. We are actually grateful you're here. And to let the audience know, you're in Australia right now, so it's almost 10 o'clock. You've had a long day, and you've chosen to spend some of the evening with us. So genuinely, no sarcasm, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
You're welcome. I just don't really have a social life or anything else to do, so thought, why not?
It's a good,
Cool.
it's a good
Cool.
thing to fill the gap with.
For those who don't know you, who may be seeing you for the first time, not the thrice time, what do you do? Why do you do
That sounds more like you're a police officer. What did you do and why have you done it?
it? No,
Honestly.
wrong skin color. That's awkward. What do you do for a living, Tom?
I am the global BDM for Content Snare. So basically, I chat to people about what I sell, which is a good time. Oh, hello.
Kirsty.
Yeah, software sales is probably the best way to describe that. I make a lot of noise about what we do, which is make it really easy to get information from clients. Is that
What
good?
kind of information from what kind of clients?
Literally anything from like onboarding all the way through to offboarding. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny. I actually get loads of accountants book demos with me because they've received an ethical clearance request from an accountant using Content Snare. And they're like, this is so good. We should be using this. I'm like, yeah, you should. Because there is nothing that is as good as getting info from clients than what we do. Because most tools, and I'm going to
Wait.
so
There is
bad.
nothing. Do you say there's nothing as good as getting content from clients? Is that what you just said?
Information from clients.
Surely them paying you is better.
I don't know.
You made a bold
friends
statement,
you
but
are.
I got to.
All right, mate, give me a break. I'm trying to sell here.
I know you're trying to sell. That's why I'm shutting you down. This isn't all about sales. It's not all
You're-
about you, Thomas. It's not all about you. Sometimes
no.
Tony has insightful things to say and good questions asked. Over to Tony. You're on
I
that side of
think
that side
that
of me.
what this is essentially Dale testing where your where the edges of your sales patter are by just constantly pattern interrupting you while you're trying to chat, Tom.
I would never do such a thing.
Something that Dale
Try
does
as much as
just
you want.
naturally. Exactly.
I would never do
exactly.
such a thing. I'm not that diabolical. I wish I were that clever and Machiavellian, but I'm not.
I wish you were that clever, but you're all right,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah,
I
you did
do
well.
alright. I'm smart enough to know I'm not the smartest person in the room or the chat. I'm okay with that.
It's the unknown unknown that's the problem, right?
Ooh,
When you
philosophy.
don't know what you don't know, then that's when it's bad.
There's nothing more dangerous than a stupid person that thinks they're clever.
Yeah. My granny always says, it's better to be thought a fool than open your mouth and prove it. And I talk a lot, so I prove it all the time. Here's what it is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on mute.
Tom, since the last appearance on the show, I know you listen occasionally. You haven't been asked the coffee or tea question yet, have you?
I don't think so.
Tony, over to you.
Was it over to me now? Is it cool?
Yeah.
So we've evolved this question slightly, and actually, I have some new experiences to feed into my position on this question, which we'll discuss.
Sorry,
after the last
Joe was jumping.
Tom's laughing. Tom's laughing in the comments. Well, let's make this one bigger. Hold on. Joe McCord, average to middling jabroni guest. Wow, I find my new religion. Joe, you're more than welcome, bro. That's how we talk to most.
You have to have Joe on this. Joe is awesome. I met Joe at a conference, and he tried to avoid me, but I was not having it. And he is so sound. You should have Joe on here. His jokes.
We need to go back to Tony. He was asking a question. I interrupted.
Sorry, yeah, Tony, we totally just steamrolled you there.
You did. It's fine. We've got plenty of time. We're only 6 minutes in. There's no way you're going to be able to fill for 54 more minutes and not let me get this question out.
Right there.
Yeah. So tea or coffee? What's your preference?
Coffee all the way.
Cool. So we don't need to do the tea branch of the question.
I feel like we should anyway. After you've done anyway, right?
Yeah. So we can all agree that sort of like your local artisan coffee shop is sort of A1. Imagine a world where that didn't exist and all you were left with was coffee chain generica. What's the coffee chain that you would go to secure a coffee, and what's the one that you would avoid like the plague?
That's a tough question. I would probably go Costa, and the reason why is it's not too bad, but also on top of that, they're everywhere, so it's easy. And the one that I would avoid is Cafe Nero. Never really had a good time there.
Okay.
Even they used to give it. I used to have Vitality health insurance. They used to get free coffee every week. Still didn't take it. That's how much I dislike.
That's a bold statement to make. Just so you know, not that I'm keeping score, but I am kind of keeping score. When we ask guests this question, I keep track of how many people say Costa and how many people dislike Starbucks, because Tony's a Starbucks guy, I'm a Costa guy, and I think, by my estimation, which is very biased, Costa is winning.
Astonishingly, I would say I was in the vast minority. Actually, I think Costa comes up more frequently than I could ever have possibly imagined. Although, to add to this point, I was away a couple of weeks ago, and where we were staying only had a Costa. There was nowhere else to buy coffee. So I decided that I couldn't stomach that for 5 days, so I'll have to make the best of a bad situation. And Kirsty Mitchell's advice was ringing around my ears of that. So the problem I have with Costa, aside from the fact that I don't particularly like the coffee to milk ratio, is the size of the drinks. They're not the right size. So a flat white's not a flat white. It's just basically a latte. So if you order a cortado, you essentially get, it's not quite a flat white, but it's much closer to a flat white on the underside than if you order a flat white, which is just a giant coffee that's not a flat white. It was actually pretty good. I won't lie.
Ooh,
it was actually pretty good.
This is what gets me here in Australia. You go, can I get a flat white? And they ask you what size.
No, there's no size. It comes in a size. That's
exactly.
The flat whiteness.
But
and it was invented in Australia as well, so I find that
don't even get me started. The best thing that I've stumbled across recently, though, is called a Melbourne Magic. So it's like a double ristretto shot with then like about 120 mils of kind of foamed milk. Sensational.
I think I've had a Melbourne Magic. The lady who talked to me did it 120 quid. It was the best half an hour of my life.
I didn't get that.
We
should not have done this on the first. We should not have done this on the 1st of April.
Why not?
I'm going to raise a comment.
Great, Greg's doing a matchup. What is? I don't trust anybody.
You've got to read the comment. You've got to read the comments. So people who are listening here. Who's it from?
It is from. Oh, Tony, who is reading this? Me or you, mate?
It sounds like it's you. I mean, I put the comment up, so I assumed it would be me, but it seems like it's you.
Mate,
so we'll go with you, mate.
Listen here, I'm the host. Stay in your lane. I think I saw Greg's doing matcha now.
We can't have that kind of behaviour. Tony, over to you.
Okay. I think I saw Greg's doing matcha now. Not sure what's happening.
Tommy, you're going to behave now.
So I don't trust anyone that drinks matcha, because there is no way you're drinking that like earth. That's what it tastes like there. You cannot convince me otherwise. And people go, yeah, this is really nice. They're lying. If anyone says to me, I drink matcha, do not trust you.
So I'm familiar with like kind of what it looks like. And I think I've tried it once or twice. But I have absolutely no idea what actually it is. Do either of you know what it is? Like where it comes from?
It's a type of tea.
Yeah.
And my understanding is, so most teas are actually the same. Green tea is just tea before it's ripened. So you have green tea before it's not fermented, but like kind of grown for longer, and then black tea is tea that's grown for maturity. So matcha is a type of green tea, and it comes in like different grades and quality. And most of the grade quality we get, at regular places like Starbucks, Costa, is like grade 3. It's the worst of the worst. And if you actually want good matcha, you need to get it from like Japan or India, where it actually grows, and they have like a different grinding process. So, for example, if you grind the matcha tea and you grind it too quickly, it scorches the leaves, which makes a bitter taste. But actually, really good matcha ground properly tastes a lot nicer.
So what you're saying is essentially it's adding tea to coffee.
No, because matcha.
If you have like a matcha latte, is that
tea.
coffee, or that's actually
No.
tea just made like a coffee?
It's a tea
Yeah, the
made like a
matcha.
coffee. The matcha is the ingredient. There's no coffee in it. It's
Okay.
matcha.
But it tastes like earth. It literally tastes like if I just got some grass and dirt, chuck that all up in a blender and put that in a drink, that is matcha.
Try a vanilla matcha with white chocolate cold foam from Starbucks. That is
Or just get a McDonald's milkshake. That's what it sounds like.
that sounds
Yeah.
I've had a McDonald's milkshake for
Ooh.
ages.
I know.
I had one the other day. It was crazy. I had it, and there's all these dudes knocking in my door. I was like, what's everyone doing?
That's a terrible joke. It's a terrible, terrible joke. That was atrocious.
You're like,
Almost as
my
bad as my
yard.
Melbourne Magic joke. That was disgusting.
It's my yard. Just
You
leave
know.
me alone. Yeah, amazing.
People come to the yard.
Wow, I had something in my head that's gone completely.
Should we bring it back to work, Tony?
We could do.
Okay. Tom, now's a chance. Why should an accountant care about content, Snare? I mean, you guys won an award last year for Xero Wars, best app ever, but like, why else would you care about content, Snare?
I think it's probably the biggest problem that most firms don't solve. And the problem is when you're getting information from clients, people either use like email, portals, all these different things, and there's no consistent method for the client when it comes to getting that information in. And they'll try something over here, try something over there. It doesn't have the depth and flexibility. So they always revert back to email. And they never really, like, they know they have this problem, but they never can really fix it. And that obviously is just getting info from clients. But the flip side, with a lot of like accounting tools, and bookkeeping tools, they have like a lot of language that clients don't understand. They don't know what to do. They don't want to remember login details. They don't want to go here, there, and try and get this different stuff. They want to know, what do I give to you, and like easily give that in a nice experience. That's exactly what we do. We solve that problem, and I don't believe anybody does it in as nice of a clean experience for clients than we do. And when people use it, this is the biggest thing that we have. People use content Snare, they love it, they don't leave us. That's it.
Do you have any cost benefit ratios you can pull off the top of your head? Like,
Yeah.
the idea is we use Content Snare, we then save 200 hours a year on admin time, something like that.
Yeah, so we actually have a LinkedIn post that we share with a lot of people. It's got over 50 firms on there. One person, Ewan Fletcher, he went on, he said it's about half of a full-time person. That's how much time they save. We did a survey. This is a little bit outdated, but it was 24 times ROI. Lister Newton,
Damn.
big firm out here, their team efficiency was recorded to be 50% up, and their data, this is the key, the data accuracy, 70% up. Because the problem is, I say, give me your bank statements. You're like, well, what are you talking about? Is where we have like an instruction field. So I can say, I need your bank statements. And in that instruction field, I can say, for this period, for this bank account, and then I can also restrict what you can upload. So I can say PDF and CSV only. So that, what happens a lot is you might ask somebody, like a client, for 5 things. They give you 2. One of those is the wrong file. One of those is the wrong type of file. We stop all of that at source.
Can I ask you a mean question?
Sure.
How is it different to anything else on the market? OCR's been around for a while. How's it different?
So we don't do OCR. I'm talking specifically about, say you're trying to close out like a tax year, or you're trying to onboard a client, and we need to know your name, your company name. Do you have a spouse that's going to go on here? Do you have any other business details? All that sort of stuff, right? All of those things we need to know, which people right now kind of use like a portal or an email. And most of this happens most of the time. Accountant goes, this is great. They send it to the client, and I get daily emails from firms going, hey, look, this is what my client said. And clients say something along the lines of, this is amazing. Why have you never done this before? This was so easy for me. I have that probably every single day.
Cool.
I don't know. You'll probably find the same, Dale. And this isn't me being like sycophantic just because we've got Tom on here, but like there are certain products in the market that have a sort of feeling around them that they are really good at what they do, and they're not that
like
common,
LedgerLux,
right? Like LedgerLux, for example.
It's very niche.
You very much used to feel like this about Go Proposal, sort of back in the day when James used to be kind of like in there all the time in their Facebook group, and people would be really like glowingly kind of like outwardly talking about it unprompted. And Content Snare sort of has that feeling about it of just, you know, like Five Guys, right? So Five Guys don't do any marketing. Their marketing is our burgers are really, really good, and people tell other people about Five Guys because our burgers are so good. That's our marketing channel, is our product is so good. It sort of feels like that with Content Snare. I haven't interacted with like the product much, but just the ambient feeling that I get of people when they talk about it is one of like, this is better than we ever hoped the solution to this problem could ever be. I love it. I want to tell all my friends about it. Like, I'm going to give it a 9 or a 10 MPS. And Tony has clearly not seen the infamous Ivor.
Tony, you can't read the comments out without putting them on screen.
I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I was going to say, like, Tom, give Tony the 50 quid for saying all the nice things later, not on screen.
Okay. Yeah. That's just the feeling that I get.
Tone has clearly not seen the infamous Ivor.
I don't know what that means.
So,
is Ivor a product? I think it's a
product. No. So he's referring to Ivan. So basically, we did an April Fool's last year, and it was like, when nothing else works, we have a new product update called Ivan, and it's a big biker dude, and he goes to the office and he goes, "You'll send document now." What's really funny about that? He's actually a geography teacher. I've actually got a picture. I'll show you.
Please do.
Are we? 1 moment, please call it. So this is Ivan, and we kind of
nice.
We kind of get it. You can see the fuzziness. He's a big dude with a very big beard.
Yeah. What I did actually recently, I posted it today. Ivan can also dance, so we got him to.
Oh, okay. Marcus Batson, sorry. Do that accent again, Tom.
I cannot hear a word right now. I don't know what's happened. Oh, 1 moment. I'm back.
Oh, you actually couldn't hear anything. Sorry, no, Marcus Batson. Sorry, can you do the accent again, please, Tom? Is that no?
No.
No, I can hear you now.
You can say no.
1 moment. I'm almost back.
I think it's
back now.
Your headphones disconnecting.
The headphones connected to the phone when I showed you the Ivan video.
Got it.
So I need a cable.
Isn't it?
I will only do that accent if you pay me.
How much? And who's paying you?
Well, scan this QR code. You can subscribe monthly, $7.99.
Just to hear you do an accent. How long are you doing the accent for?
Probably about 2 minutes there.
2 minutes, $7.99. I think that's a good ROI. Marcus, Venmo me some cash and we'll get it done.
Venmo me some cash. Love it.
Yeah, we live in a golden age of technology, people. So we could be Venmoing money.
Venmo. Pew, pew. Please, one more time. Pew, pew. Pew, pew. That's pretty cool.
Only forms.
Oh god, Marcus is on it today. He's so good.
He is.
Tom, have we asked you the fictional character question yet?
Yeah, I said Joffrey.
Yeah, it was a good shout.
Game of Thrones.
It's Joffrey.
Don't know who else it would be.
Okay, if you could save one evil person from all of history, who would it be?
One evil person from history.
Yeah.
Oof, that's as in real life history or sci-fi.
Let's go for fictional history, because if you say real person, that gets you in trouble, doesn't it?
It does. We'll go fictional. Yeah. That's a tough question to think about, because I really, as I've got older, I really like the villain, and I don't know. Most times, I'm just like, yeah, like I'm with the villain, and I don't know. It's because as I've got older, I've got more grumpy. I'm just like, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I understand you, bro. And I
Clearly been
connect
through
to the
something.
villain.
Clearly been through something. Yeah.
Totally. What I do in my personal time is up to me.
I
don't
would
know,
say this is a
probably-
safe space, but this is not a safe space.
It's not safe space,
Don't
slightly
cathart to
means
us in any way, shape, or form. Like I
Yeah.
could lie and say we listen, but we don't judge, but we do listen, and we judge harshly. So
I don't know. Who would you save?
I ask these questions, never thinking about them until I've asked them. Like this just came off the top of my head, so I have no idea who my historical fictional person I would save. If I had to think, who was the bad guy in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I remember he get rolled over by a steamroller, and it turns out it was a cartoon. I'd save him. He was a bad guy, but he was hilarious at the same time. My immediate thought.
Nice. Yeah, I just have no idea. I don't even know.
It's a dumb question. Like, don't humor it. It's a ridiculous
Nah,
question.
I'm trying to think because like the basic stuff, like Darth Vader, but that's just boring. Like everyone, like mainstream. I want something niche.
What's
But,
a niche?
yeah, but right now I can't think of it. So
Don't go too niche though. People might not know who you're talking about.
well, that's true.
I mean, I would have said like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, but he became a goodie. So like, you know what I mean?
That's true. I don't know. We'll circle back to it.
We'll put a pin in that.
We'll take it
What's-
offline.
Yeah. We'll circle back, put a pin, and take offline.
What's your favorite corporate phrase? That's a
Basic
question for you.
Synergistic management solutions. Love it.
Ooh.
That's
Love
That's so nice. How much would I have to pay you for you to change your name to that?
Synergistic management solutions. You couldn't pay me enough. I love it and hate it at the same time. We've got like I know what it means, and the idea of it, the concept makes perfect sense. But just saying it in that way is so douchey.
That
Can you
is-
imagine trying to get that on like those like DMLL forms where they've got the little squares you're trying to type on? I need more
Syn for
squares.
sure, right? Synergistic management solutions. Yeah.
I reckon
Or
Big Tony's
holistic
got something.
approach. A holistic approach.
Holistic approach. I reckon
One
Tony,
that's
you got something to love, yeah.
one that I feel has crept in recently, which I struggle with a little bit, is let's deal with this asynchronously.
Oof.
The fuck does that mean? I
It
mean,
means, not
I
in
know.
a meeting. It means not
Yeah.
in a meeting. It means let's do it like individually in our own time.
Yeah.
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 Not together at the same time. So it would be like we're talking about this. Let's just go out and comment on the doc at our own leisure.
I've heard a lot about MCPs recently as well. That's sliding into corporate speak.
But that's an acronym though, isn't it? Like
I know, but there's a time when no one said it. Now everyone says it.
yeah. And what does it stand for?
Model Context Protocol.
Okay.
Basically an API, but for
AI.
AI.
Oh,
That segued us nicely onto AI, didn't it?
very
Tom.
jazzy.
What are your thoughts on AI?
I love it. I think I love it. I think it can do so much.
As long as you have no follow-up questions, this is my thoughts.
If any AI is listening to this, oh dear overlord, I think you're great. No, I think it's great. I think the biggest challenge with AI is you can do so much and so many different processes, but the problem I often see, and this is just my experience, people are doing like all these mini processes with AI because they can just do it now, and they spend all this time, this massive time arc, trying to solve like these little problems because they don't really know what to do. And also, most people that are like, "Oh, I've done this or I've done that," and you're like, "Well, why would you not look at the grander picture?" They probably didn't even have the process in place, and that's probably where AI could really help. Is to be like, "This is my current process. Analyze this. Where can I make improvements?" And there's a lot of stuff. Like I saw this person; they spent 5 hours building this AI tool that did all these different things. And I was like, I literally have that in a zap, like one zap. It's one zap. It's just an automation. So that's one part. I love the idea that people can build their own apps and really explore that and have like that. My concern with that is security. So I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember what the podcast was, but this dude was basically like, if you use something like Lovable, right? They're SOC 2 and ISO certified, which means that, but your app isn't. And it's really important if you're going to have any sensitive data or any outward facing data that you either get that like pen tested or you have your own security places. And this dude, I need to find this out. He'll be like on my recents. He literally went up to all these people that have like, when he got up to them, he found them online that have done their own apps and pushed it out there. It was something like 80% of those, he was able to access all this sensitive information straight away. And that's the only concern I have. Like, and I don't want to be that guy where it's like, oh, be careful. But it's so good, but it's also, I think people just need to understand a little bit more around kind of, okay, well, if I do this, where, like, what are the other steps I need in place just to keep it secure? Other than that, I think it's great.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm not from a technical background, right? So the coding element of this, which seems to have really kind of like ramped up in the last few months, right? It might have similar concerns, but I also have concerns as to sort of like how people who've sort of vibe coded apps are able to like properly test the edge cases of what those apps can do. I was talking to somebody about this earlier in the week. It's just to like, was it last week? Just about like, it might seem fine in like 99% of iterations, and then you get that one that's like, that just bit. And probably me, it's just like my lack of knowledge as to how you would go about doing that from somebody that wasn't experienced in that field. It just worries me that these things don't work properly. Have you seen that meme doing the rounds of this like 3 kids sat at a table and a lady there, and the caption at the top of it is, "Mum, why are we so poor?" and then the caption underneath it is, "Because Dad decided to vibe code himself a CRM solution instead of working on the actual product that the company sold," which I did think was quite amusing. So yeah,
That's
I don't know.
that's the challenge, though, isn't it? It's like you can kind of do everything. What do you do?
It's like going and sitting in a restaurant and being given 5,000 choices on the menu, right? Like, how do you navigate that? I also find I've been like off sort of work, having had our second child for sort of the last 6 months, on and off. Worked a huge amount of period in that time, and deliberately sort of took a backward step in terms of like trying to keep up with what was going on. And then it now feels just like so much has changed in our world in that period of time that I'm looking at kind of going like, I'd really like to know where I can go to sort of catch up somewhere reliably, but there's lots of different sources of information, right, and lots of people chatting about all this stuff. But yeah, I do think it's super fascinating, and I'd be really interested to see what impact it has on the profession over the coming months and years.
I got into a LinkedIn comment debate with the mighty John Toon regarding this. Please take this with a pinch of salt because I'm paraphrasing what he said. I don't want to misquote him, but I think he's suggesting that AI in the accounting space is really going to drive down pricing. This is where he and I slightly disagree. And he said he's seen it happen, and I can kind of see it. Like, essentially the consumer is going to go, "What am I paying for?" Or the consumer is going to go to an AI, ask it a decent prompt, and get 95% of what it should get. But again, my thing has always been like, you want to pay the accountant for assurance. You always want to pay some level of money to say a person's gone, this is right, and if it's wrong, I can sue you. You probably can't sue the AI companies just yet because they're not willing to take liability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Insurers is my guess.
It also allows for for businesses to go, okay, right, we can serve clients cheaper than we otherwise would have been able to previously, and therefore we want to race to the bottom of the market by driving down prices to accumulate a lot of client numbers, right, as well. You could foresee that being something that was very doable, especially in the acquisitive world that we live in, where everything's kind of getting rolled up into larger groups. The idea of like, well, I'll spend 5 years acquiring an enormous bank of clients at very reduced rates, fine-tuning that system so that the data is captured well and processed well and done by robots, allows us to drive prices down. So you could foresee that would happen. Do I think it will or not is another question. But yeah, that's not new, right? There's been firms doing that for ages.
It must be challenging though, right? If you're like a business owner or like you're an accountancy firm and you go on LinkedIn and you're like, this person over here is like, we've done this, and this, and it's like, well, okay, I'm doing that, and then you start working on that, it kind of works, and you're like, oh, this kind of like, whenever you do anything, if you paint a picture, you're like, this is amazing, and other people look at it, they go, all right, mate, yeah, sure, like, get them glasses.
In theory.
And then, and then
Tony knows, he's got young children, he knows.
But then you go back, then you go to like Accountex, and then you got these people going, "This is how we're using AI, and this is what we're doing." And you're like, "Oh, great! I'll go and do that now." And before you know it, you've had this massive time investment because you are trying to keep up, but you've not really moved anywhere. You've kind of got like some stuff over here, some stuff over here, and it must be so hard for like a business owner because they want to keep their competitive advantage, right, and also run their business better. But it's like, where do you start? And I see so much nonsense. So much nonsense. And it's like, these people are going to get this thing, if I'm new to it, and get 5-6 hours deep in trying to do something. It's not really going to work because the person that was kind of telling you, oh, it does all this sort of stuff, was probably giving you the showman version or showwoman version of what it actually does.
Tony, I had the opportunity of speaking to Dan
Boyles
of the Hello AI Collective. Now, he seems to be someone who actually knows what he's talking about, and he's working with some very big brands. So I think you don't get to work with those kind of brands and name them without being good at what you're doing. So he's someone who knows what he's talking about. He and his team, Hello AI Collective, I think they can break it down. And having seen him speak at an event, I think he kind of admits this himself. He's not selling like AI success per se. He's just breaking it all down. And some of the things he does are things that we all do in business anyway, but he's like the sounding board, if that makes sense. I can't explain it, but like he admits he has more knowledge than other people, but he's also just like kind of break it down step by step, the pragmatic approach to using AI and what you need to do before you even consider AI. So that's my interpretation of what he does.
Yeah, he's not selling a particular AI solution in any way. In actual fact, he's sort of like, look, these are the ones you might want to look at. These are the pros, these are the cons. This is kind of maybe what we would recommend, but actually like the particular product and the implementation of it, like that's on you. We're here for like to make sure you're thinking about this in the right way and that you don't spend a lot of time spinning around on the spot, accumulating time and cost. You want to point you in the right direction as best we see it right now, right? Because like it changes so fast, right? All the big companies are dropping new things all the time, which is again hard to keep up with.
Do you think AI is always listening? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Comment in the chat if you're listening, peeps.
ChatGPT just said,
yeah, no, I'm not listening. Because again, hear me out, anyway.
As that Claude guy is, yeah.
it has to be, because here's my two thoughts, right? One, I can go to the pub with a friend of mine, talk about something completely asinine, and suddenly Facebook gives me adverts for that asinine thing. Two, when you say hello Google or hello Alexa, how does it know you've said that? It must be listening, right? It has to be. Mm-hmm. So when they say it's not listening, it has to be listening.
Yeah, we turned that speaker off.
Yeah, I thought about this literally the other day because I don't want to say it because my phone's here and it'll go off. But
Bixby.
But I was like, is it
Bixby?
No, it must be listening because how else would it know to pick up on that phrase?
Yeah, or not to pick up, because you can say the name and it doesn't pick up, but it knows to listen for the hey and the name, so it has to listen to both. No?
It's also so there are like other ways that it can. So it happens to my wife an awful lot where she gets stuff that will appear on ads. It doesn't happen to me very much, but it happens to her all the time. Of like we'd be talking about something and then it'll ping on your phone and there'll be an ad there for it or something like that, right? And there is ways they can do it in terms of that person that you're speaking to about that particular thing. If they've driven that conversation, there's a good chance that they've Googled it, and then your two phones are next to each other, so they take the punt that you might have been talking about that thing and serve you an ad because it's in your interest because they've looked at it on their phone, I think. But the whole all that stuff terrifies me. I didn't get any of that.
For some reason, I don't know why, but because of my subscription, whatever it is, streaming to the FM page has stopped working. And then I thought I'd turn it off and on again, which I did. It stopped working again. And I thought, you know what? I'll do it to my personal profile, like back in the good old days. And I now have an error message saying, it looks like your stream isn't showing up on LinkedIn. This is likely blah, blah, blah. And I thought I'd share that with people on YouTube, just in case they were trying to watch on LinkedIn. But I realized sharing it on this means they're not going to see it, because if they're on LinkedIn, they can't see the message. So that's actually kind of redundant.
Well, here we are.
Always going to be a sneeze.
Oh, we're bracing.
I know, I was as well. I was like, this is first time this has happened to me when streaming on FM, but no, it's gone away. So we're all
It's not
good.
the first time it's happened.
What, sneeze? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've coughed a few times before. That's
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
have. Yeah, that's for sure.
All right. Speaking of bracing, gentlemen, how goes the gym and other physical activities? Tony, how's golf? Tom, how goes the squats? What's happening, gentlemen?
You want to go first, Tom?
Sure.
Or do you want me to go first?
Gym is good.
Yeah.
I'm just getting heavier and heavier in terms of what I can lift. I took a bit like coming up to Australia and stuff. I took a bit of time off, and now I've been in the gym throwing stuff up. Went to the gym today. I'm trying to do a lot of full body at the moment, which is good. I caught up with one of my mates actually, and the guy is absolutely massive now. And he showed me this video of him doing 320 kg hip thrust.
Damn.
Which is just, and like he does, I think he was saying it was like 90 kg dumbbell, like each hand, so 180 kg bench press.
That's ridiculous because
like,
dumbbells, that's like Eddie
That's
Hall
insane.
strong. Like,
I was like, you must be on the tee for sure.
and the rest.
is he easy
I was
friends with
like,
Anatoly?
not-
That guy. He's like, what?
Yeah, that guy's so good.
He is up. I don't know, he probably has got LinkedIn, so I'll show him. He's actually, I don't think this picture will do him justice, but he's absolute
Absolute
massive.
unit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, Sinead, my loving partner, she won this hamper. She ended the competition. She got an email. She almost deleted it because she thought it was like rubbish. $500 worth of chocolate. We won. Well, she won 250 quid, give or take.
Wow,
That's a lot of
Mental.
chocolate.
that's a lot of chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't really see how big he's in that picture, but he's wham.
He's wow.
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, he's one of my childhood friends, and I just saw him and I was like, oh my God. But he's definitely on something because his hair's starting to go at the front, and I was like, you had a full head of hair, and that's obviously a big.
Well, also, he's probably getting old now, Tom. Let's be honest. You're not spring chicken anymore. Neither am I. Neither is Tony.
True.
I'm definitely
That's
not.
true. Yeah, but this was he had the hair.
Yeah.
And then when I quizzed him on it, he was very, very
Cagey.
shy.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And then he just kicked me and I went 400 miles.
Yeah, normally people who are natty are quite happy to tell you that they're natty quite quickly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Do you know what I find really funny is like in America, those kind of steroids are actually illegal. Do you know what I mean? Like that, like you can buy them in the UK, you can buy them, I think, in Australia, but in America, like they're actually genuinely illegal, which is kind of funny.
They're not very good for you, are they?
No.
To answer your question, Dale, I haven't played any golf. Golf is not on the agenda at the moment. Gym wise, not much. And the last time I was in the gym, so I've lost quite a bit of weight since Christmas. So I'm down.
Good weight or bad weight?
Good weight.
Okay.
Some not, but you can't lose weight quickly without losing a bit of strength, right? So I'm down from 113 to like 102 kilos. So I've lost quite a bit of weight since Christmas.
That's good.
Unassisted, no jabs or anything. No shade on anyone that's using jabs, but just it feels like you have to.
You have to tell people.
Say that now.
caveat
Like,
yeah.
you have to put the caveat in. So just stopped eating everything basically. But yeah, I racked up what is less than 80% of my 1 rep max bench press and failed it for the first time in at least 5 years. Like that's a weight I've hit 8 reps for before, and I failed it. It wasn't a great lift. 120. It wasn't a great lift in that I expected to lift it, so my path wasn't great, and I'd kind of got a bit out of shape. But normally I would have been able to recover that without too much trouble, and it would have been fine. So there was a bit of excuse, and I did re-rack it and just about made it. Following that, but yeah, that's the first time I failed that weight in a long time. So stripping off some timber has reduced, and I haven't really been able to train as much as I would have liked to have done in the last 6 months or so. So yeah, just trying to wait for the schedule to open up a little bit more so I can do a bit more. But yeah, but plenty of weight's come off, which was a long time overdue. So a long time overdue.
I can't squat at the moment. I
Nice.
partially ruptured a tendon in my leg, and it's really annoying, right? So my goal for this year was to do 170 kg back squat for 3. And I hadn't been training for about a year before this, but I was gradually building it up. And this particular day, I'd done 140 for 5, feeling good. So I did 150 for 3, felt good. Did 160, felt perfectly fine. Did the 1, I was like, I could do another one. Did another one, and on the way down, I felt and heard a popping noise. The noise didn't actually hurt, by the way. It's just like, that's probably not a good idea. So I stood up and went, that's enough of that. And then like an hour later, my leg was in agony. I was like, this isn't good. And every time I climb stairs now, it really hurts. Went to the GP to have checked out. They're like, yeah, you ruptured a tendon somewhere in your leg. It's going to be like minimum 12 weeks recovery. It's like, oh man. So
Good job it wasn't a full rupture, because like an Achilles rupture is like, that's a really, really bad injury, isn't it? That can be like
months,
sometimes 24 months before that's fixed. So
it's only a partial one, but it just means I've got to take it easy, and I've got to do the annoying physio exercises.
Back on the bench.
Oh, it means I'm doing way more bench. I wish I had a Mac so I could do that. I don't have a Mac.
That's so good. I wish I could do that. I have a Mac.
Didn't actually know it did it on.
It does on this too. It does on all of them.
Oh yeah.
My camera's not working at the moment, which is why I'm a bit of a funny angle and a bit blurry today. So
I was gonna say, like, you're further out and we can't see the chocolate that well.
Yeah, I have all my stuff like routed through, and it all goes through this like one horrible, nasty, tiny little plastic connector thing that I've had for ages, and I think that thing's finally broken because my microphone and my camera just stopped working yesterday. So I've ordered something that's more robust, which should arrive today, but unfortunately didn't arrive in time. So I'm having to use the good old Mac camera.
Something bottleneck, something your business, something upgrading, something like, I don't know. You know what I mean? We can draw work to that. You know, you had one integral piece of your workflow that you had neglected, needs to be maintained, and something businessy. So, synergistic management solutions.
Did we just synergize? Did we synergize?
Synergize so hard right now. Yeah.
Ooh, that. You've been to drama school, Tony, haven't you? That was.
No,
nice.
I just watched The Office. That's a Brent. That's an absolute original Brentism.
I've never seen The American Office.
I've never seen it either. I just couldn't bring myself to.
Oh, there's an American In-Betweeners.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I never.
And I saw a clip of it, and it was trash.
Yeah,
trash. Do you know what's really trash. Good?
What?
Last One Laughing. Don't know if you guys.
Oh,
yes.
We got to the end of last episode last night. Right, brilliant. The last one. Is Bob going to win again?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Don't tell me either.
It hasn't dropped yet. It hasn't dropped yet. They did it 3, 2, and then the other one's next, and we were like, we've waited ages. I hate this separate dropping of the episode of the series.
Joe Wilkinson, though, the lifeboats.
Oh my god,
that was still my favorite moment of the first series.
Like, he's such a genius. Like, for anyone who's not seen this show and are listening right now, so Last One Laughing, comedians, they have to like make other comedians laugh or not laugh. That's the premise. Joe Wilkinson is such a dry comedian, like so dry and so clever. I
always love to believe that nothing that comes out of his mouth is ever thought about before, and that it just all comes straight to him in pure natural flow.
I think it's mostly him. I think that's his personality. Like 85% of it is him.
Yeah, we went to see Josh Widdicombe, right? And it was a Cheap Seats tour that he was doing to try out new material. So he literally was telling the jokes and then like getting his notes out and writing his notes like while he was. It was actually really, really interesting to see like a comedian and how they'll drop a joke and then he was like, oh, actually, I didn't land how I thought it was going to, but I've got a better idea. Can I try that again? And then he'd be like, and then something had come to him at the time. And he's like, that's a much better finish for that joke. And it's really, really like fascinating to watch them how they did it. Really, really good. Like way better than I thought. I thought it was going to feel a bit sort of like broken and disjointed, but to understand like the science of comedy and like the structure of it, rather than it just the bit that you get to see, which is just what feels like somebody just being really funny, but actually a lot of thoughts gone into it. But I just can't imagine Joe Wilkinson would ever have anything other than just straight from the top of the dome. Stream of consciousness, never planned anything. Like he was really good on Celebrity Traitors as well. Him and Joe Marler. He was very good.
So I thought we'd get a little bit more intimate. We'd zoom in.
Does anyone know why they do this separate dropping of series now instead of just putting the whole thing on? Is it to do with like
Because-
subscribers every month numbers or something? Or my best guess was like Netflix reports on how many live people they've had on the platform each month. So in separating them across the end of a month, they'll get the people who want to watch the first half of Bridgerton and the second half of Bridgerton for 2 months instead of 1 month because they'll binge it all in one go. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you think about it. So for Last One Laughing, I'm going to have to go to Prime 3 times. During that period, when those episodes finish, I might try and find something else on Prime. If I've just set up a subscription, I might stay on there longer because I'm like, oh, it's always good stuff. I'll get into another series. That would be my hypothesis, but it's probably wrong.
Similar to you, Tom. So like, I like the TV show Invincible. It's a great cartoon. It's on Amazon. I cancelled my Prime like 6 months ago, and I've only got my Prime back just to watch that show. They drop an episode every week, so I've got to keep my Prime for at least a month. I have to watch the show because it comes out every week. Whereas if it came out in one go, I'd have watched it and then cancelled again.
Exactly right. And also on a free trial, probably as well, right?
Probably.
Yep.
Could be that. Yeah.
So,
Very
yeah,
good show. Very, very,
well,
very good show though.
Most Prime trials are what, like 30 days? And this has been over, is it give or take 30 days? So you would get the revenue, I guess. But Last One Laughing I'm talking about.
Tom, does it feel good to have the word global in your job title?
Oh, that's it, boy. I specifically asked for it.
Because people say things. No, people say titles don't mean anything to me, and you're kind of right. Like if you're but it does also mean, it means things to other people. No, like global sounds like a big deal.
Is that a fat joke?
No. If I was going to call you fat, I'd just call you fat and I'll make a joke about it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like it.
I called you a jabroni within the first 30 seconds of this live stream. Loved
it. Really got the authentic experience. Yeah, no, I love it. I think, I don't know, it sounds very jazzy. It just basically, I think, like you said there, it gives people the understanding of like, oh, who would I speak to at this company? Probably this guy if I want to speak to him about.
Or, I mean, too cocky, like, maybe not you because you're too busy doing global stuff. Talk to someone on your team. No.
Well, it's global business development manager, right? So my job is to speak to people that are interested in using this, and also find people that are going to be relevant. And then I do a lot like across. So actually, my core regions are UK, US, and Australia, and New Zealand. Australia and they're my like core regions, and I do different stuff. So like in the UK, because I tend to only work up to about like 1 p.m. UK time. A lot of the stuff I do in the UK is kind of like one-to-many focused, as where in Australia and NZ I can do a lot more like one-to-one stuff. And then in the US, I have to get up early in the morning to do that. So again, it's kind of more like how do we give them a better self-guided experience, and then just navigating all those things together.
I think the last time you spoke, you were just stepping into the UK with more intent at Content Snare. Like, how have you? I can imagine that NTD would be a kind of driver maybe for content. How are you finding the UK, the landing?
Yeah, really good. We've got some really great partners. We've got a guy called Lee Combs. I don't know if any of you know him. He's sound. MTD is a big thing for us. So the biggest issue for MTD is firms will have like, I don't know, especially with landlords, they'll have like a business that they're looking after, and now they need to do the landlord part. They have to collect that information, right? Like, did you do any maintenance on your property? Did you do this? Have you got all of that sort of stuff? So with us, we basically built a series of MTD templates that ask these sort of questions. Firms can literally go, okay, I've got these 100 clients that I'm going to do MTD for. I can either send this request that goes out every month or every quarter. It's automatically reminded. And then when the time comes, all the information is done. They just have it there. They review it, and then they do the job. So it's a way of like keeping the cost down, especially for the clients that maybe you're either doing other stuff for them. So this is quite a low value task and the margin isn't great, or you've got people that, that don't earn a huge amount and can't afford to pay you a huge amount. So yeah, it really helps there. And that's been really big for us. And then we're now just investigating how we do other stuff really well in the UK.
Do you know what I find ironic about Making Tax Digital as someone who has a directorship of a company? If you want to declare that your company is dormant and doesn't need to file financial records, you can't email HMRC. You can't go on an app. You've got to write them a chuffing letter. Did you know that? I know that because I've had to write them a letter.
That's so funny. I didn't.
But if I were an active business, they'd expect me to be using MTD to file my accounts or track my books.
And then you still have to file like some other stuff as well, right? Around your confirmation statement and bits and pieces about. Yeah.
So to tell them I'm no longer active, I've got to send them a letter, physical piece of paper. The
That's
irony's not
crazy.
lost on me at all.
That's
Come on,
crazy.
King Charles, fix it. His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, right? This is his thing.
This is
I
true.
thought we were going to see like a better regime with him in charge. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of hoping when he became king, he'd become a tyrant, just for my amusement. I mean,
Just him and his big fingers. Just like,
yeah, and he noticed him, he'd be like, you know what, Parliament had enough of you lot. You're waffling around. You're not decisive enough. I'm now the king. Back to monarchy. Boom.
Done.
Just does some crazy shit.
cool.
I might not agree with the crazy
Good
shit he does, but just like it would have been a good, interesting to see.
story. Can you imagine? Do you know who I need to deal with? That Trump fella. Do you...
Pick your battles. I was thinking more like bring back fox hunting. That's not what I mean. Saying that's something he might say.
Oh.
Do not clip that bit up.
No, you said it now. AI is going to clip it up. It's going to be, you know what? And I'm okay. I'm okay with making myself viral and look bad. I've done it to other people. Like, got to take the hits. The worst came out of my face hole.
Do you guys just to swing it back because I've got this thing in my mind? Do you content snare, right? You've got land on record statements, all the stuff that you need to file, right? And you go out with content snare and you go, need this stuff, and they go, I've done it, and you're like, you said the wrong format. And they're like, I've done it. And you're like, it's the wrong file. We're like, I've done it. And they were like, okay, we've done it. Fine, great, brilliant. And then it arrives, and then it gets pushed into the ledger, and the ledger work gets done. And then you end up in a situation where you've got some gaps of knowledge that are like these 20 Amazon transactions that we've got no data for, or like some just code thing that came in that we have no idea what that thing is. Does content snare get involved in asking the client what those transactions relate to any way or point or other?
So the firm will do this. They'll ask the questions. But yeah, we have what's quite big out here is the uncoded statement lines report.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a table field, and you can basically bang it straight in there, lock all of the other columns to the client, and go, just give me your comments. What are these things? And just ping it straight out, and it will just. You can either, if we say you send out a request and you've completed that request, so it's no longer active to the client, you could restore that, add that bit as like a query to that existing request and get it back out if you wanted it all in one. But yeah, short answer is yeah, like that happens.
Because I had this idea, right, which I'll never do anything with, and I like to just put these ideas out to other people who might do something with it because I think it would be nice. Is that obviously like you've got a ledger platform, Xero, Free Agent, QuickBooks, Sage, whatever, right? Having like one centralized thing that dealt with that report on each of the different ledger platforms and took it and basically took those transactions and then drove them into the client's WhatsApp and like auto responded to it. So it'd be like, here's this transaction with this document attached. What does it mean? Answer. Okay, now, and then it also sent the next one saying, what's this thing? So it arrived natively within their WhatsApp environment, because that's where we all live, right? In terms of comms. And I just had this idea of a little tool that did that. Dale seemed quite excited. And it may exist already, I don't know, but just, I don't know. Yeah.
Didn't Xero have a feature similar to that, like Xero Ask? The idea is things were missing. I don't think it did WhatsApp, but you could take stuff.
You can write it in on the rec screen in Xero, but that's not what I want. Is a central one that does it for all of my platforms. The same thing, and it's in WhatsApp, so it's like you don't have to manually go somewhere else to fill in a box that you're not familiar with. It just arrives, and you're like, oh, this thing's really intrusive and right in my face, and I can't really ignore it.
You could probably do something like client window, have their WhatsApp stuff. You might even be able to do something through that. I mean, we would have it where the firm would literally take that and either use like the smart request builder, which is like our AI, and just dump it in there and go send this request out to the client, like generate this for me, ask them for all this information. Because the way that when we ask a question, right, the client gets a request, they'll only see one question at a time. As soon as they submit that, it will then pop to the next question.
Yeah, that's the kind of logic that I'm going for is, yeah.
That's exactly how we work. And then you could literally take, so I did this with, I pulled down the uncoded statement lines report in PDF, popped it in the AI builder and went, generate this as individual line items using these, like the reference here, this goes here. Took me probably like 45 seconds to a minute, had a request, sent it straight out to the client. And you could, so we are investigating a WhatsApp integration at the moment. So you'd be able to send that through WhatsApp soon, hopefully. But you could literally grab that link, push it straight into WhatsApp yourself. Just go, boom, here you go, respond to this.
So you can
and then add reminders. And you can also, we have SMS reminders. So you could then send texts. Hey, make sure you answer this question.
Yeah, people like text now, don't they? Because there's less noise in your SMS inbox than there is anywhere else. Yeah, I have to clear that notification down. I can't have that sat there.
See, Senor.
I'm going to go back a massive step. Joe McCord, Tom, you suggested he'd be a good guest. Why would he be a good guest?
Joe's just a good guy, and he's kind of funny as well. Like, he's just a really nice guy. When for like one of my first events I did in Australia, I met Joe, and him and the whole Pinch team are just super sound people, and they're just good people. That's why he'd be a great guest.
Joe, if you're listening, still feel free. We'll reach out. Maybe have you on as a guest. It'll be fun.
It feels like we're approaching the top of the hour.
We
Isn't
are.
it?
Yeah. And we
So
can't
how
use our
that
usual.
time
We
is
can't do
flown.
we can't do our normal tricks on Tom because he's already had the relevant
Quick
tricks
fire.
questions. Like
Yeah.
he's done all those. He's done all the pattern instruction questions. Like there's nothing new under the sun.
Jedi Master.
Oh, there's one thing we could do, Tom. For people who don't know, before you come on the show, you've got to fill in a quick passing check to make sure you're a human. So I ask questions like, what industry do you work in? You put accounting and bookkeeping. What business do you work for? Content Snare. What topic would you like to discuss? Why beavers are damn good at their jobs. Elaborate, or just leave it as it is?
It's just funny. I don't know why. I heard it somewhere and I just found it the funniest thing. And
Well, then the next one is, sorry, what value will your insights bring? None. The Earth is flat. Do you want to explain yourself, or again, just let that hang? Just leave it.
yeah.
Could you go back to the beavers bit for a second? Do you know that they're re-releasing beavers into the wild in the UK?
That's pretty cool.
That's already happened. They are on a bunch of separate like kind of estates that they're experimenting with rewilding them.
They also want to rewild water buffalo and wolves into this country, which I'm against because I like being top of the food chain.
Water buffaloes.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. We've had European water buffaloes. I didn't realize this because I thought there was African, but no, there's water buffaloes that used to exist in Essex. I'm thinking of relaunching those. And again, wolves, because the idea is like Yosemite Park in America, where we decimated the wolf population, has actually messed up our food chain. So the idea is actually we have these animals, then actually
I love the water buffaloes because they're just basically I just love them. They're cows, right? But they just get in the water. They just do whatever they want. And me and my wife went traveling, and we were in India, and the guide was like, "They are so unpredictable. Like, I am terrified of them. Like, you just shouldn't go near them because they just do what the hell they like." And I just see them sitting in there with their little curly horns, like sticking their heads out of the water, being like, "I'm in water, and I'm a massive cow. There's nothing you can do about it."
Kind of like hippos, like they know they're big and strong. Like, do I want?
Yeah.
Kind of like Tony.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant as a compliment, dude.
That's right.
Pick your battles.
Big and strong. Do I want?
Yeah. Nah, I hear that. My favourite animal here is, we have two. We've got the bush turkey, but you just see them out in the street. You'd be walking, there'd just be a turkey walking across the road. And then the other one is we have bin chickens, which are it's like a big bird with this. It's got this long, massive
Is it a weka? Is that what they're called?
I have no idea. It's got it's this white looking bird with this bit, and they're always on a bin, hence bin chicken. Food stuff. That's it, ibis. Yeah, they're two of my favourite.
Why?
I just don't know. I find the fact that I see a turkey running around really funny, and then just these weird long birds that, they look like they're those masks that people wear when they go to like masquerade balls. And stuff,
with the long,
constantly in costume.
Cool. Good to know.